Hey, I'm Chris Ralph, the professional prospector. And come on out with me today. I found a little spot some weeks ago, probably about 6 weeks ago. I found a little spot that I got 6 nuggets in just a short time. I didn't have a lot of time to work it, and so I decided I'd come back, of course, at a day when I have a little more time, and take a look at this prospect. And it's just a little patch is what it is, a little spot in an old hydraulic mine that the old-time miners did do a very good job of cleaning up the bedrock. And of course, they got acres and acres at places like this. And so, you know, there's always a few spots where the old miners just didn't do a great job of cleaning up the bedrock. And so I'm going to take my Gold Monster 1000 out, and I'm going to show you how to find gold with the Gold Monster 1000. That's what we're going to talk about today. Basically setting up and using the Gold Monster 1000 by Minelab to find gold. And I just want to say, this is not a sponsored video. I'm doing this of my own accord. Nobody's paying me. Anyway, come along with me. We're going to take a look and we're going to find some gold together, because I'm sure there's some more gold left in this little spot. Okay, well, I hunted around here and I found my spot. I didn't mark it too much, but I kind of knew what the rocks looked like at the spot, because I didn't want to leave a big marking that somebody else would come and find. So now I've got my Gold Monster, and I'm going to get it all put together and see if I can find another little nugget or two, and I'll bring you back and we'll show you with me digging the first targets, because all the targets I dug in this little spot were all gold. So come along and I'll bring you back when I've got one. So I recorded my first target that I found, and it was gold, but for some reason the video wasn't working right, so I didn't capture it. So, you know, it's not, I can't go back and do it, you know, in reverse. So anyway, I did capture a couple of nuggets that I caught on tape, so that's good. Shows how I work with this detector. And I did capture a good section on how I set up the Gold Monster 1000. And I will show you a picture at the end of all the different nuggets that I got on this trip. So I think it'll still be a good show, even though somehow the first nugget I got didn't show up. So anyway, stand by. Well, right next to that first one that I got, actually I haven't brought you back for a while. I did dig one little more piece, so I have 2 pieces. The first piece that I found a couple more pieces of lead trash. But right next to the hole where I got that first piece, I've got another signal. Sounds pretty good, and I think it's probably gold. So let's dig it and see. I'm going to put the camera down at a little further angle so you can see better. Okay, so here's that target. Okay, so it's definitely out of the hole. Okay, it took a little bit too much dirt in the scoop. For really small ones like this, you really need to get the scoop just with a little bit of dirt. I don't think it's in there. Let's see if it's in this one. Nope, it was in the first one. See, it all depends on where it is. Little tiny ones like that, where it is in the scoop makes all the difference in the world. Okay, definitely in the scoop. Definitely in my hand. In the scoop. Definitely in the scoop still. Okay, definitely in my hand. Okay. Definitely in my hand. Still in the scoop. In my hand. Man, these are so small, it's hard to see them even when you know they're there. Is that it? Nope, still in the scoop. Okay, in my hand. Last few little pieces. Still in between my fingers. Is that it? I think that's it. A little bit of gold. Really tiny. That's amazing. Can you see that little tiny piece with the camera? Man, that's just the tiniest little speck. But it's gold, and it sounds off, as you can hear. So that's gold piece number 3. So you see me finding such small pieces of gold. You might ask, hey Chris, how do you have your gold monster set up? Well, the gold monster is a super simple metal detector. I mean, it is kind of designed to be as close as you can realistically get to turn on and go. Obviously I turn it on when I find nuggets. I run the gain. In a place like this, I'll run it all the way as high as it'll go, short of putting it in automatic mode, because it actually has a mode where if you click it in there, it'll give you basically what it thinks the gain should be. The detector will adjust. Well, I do the automatic, or not the automatic, but the high gain as you can set on your own before it goes into automatic mode. And then if I go around and it starts getting noisy and I'm hearing hot rocks and I'm getting problems with the soil, then I'll start backing it off, because you got to be able to back the gain off if it's set too high. So set it as high as, to the max, and then as you find your detector is noisy and bothering you, don't feel bad about turning the gain down. That's one of the things that experienced prospectors learn. And then as far as the mode, whether it's in discrimination or deep mode, I put it in the deep mode because it's much more sensitive that way. And actually the little bar across the top gives you a pretty good indication. Now when you're getting little teeny tiny pieces of gold like this, the discrimination isn't very good. It'll kind of bounce around, which is the machine saying, I can't get a good enough reading on this target. And you got to accept that. But I go in the deep mode and dig pretty much everything, unless it's a screamer target and the thing is definitely saying iron, then I'll walk away from most of those. But then as far as the volume, you just turn it up to whatever volume seems good. Right now, because I'm filming, I have the volume on maximum just so you can hear. So that's not really a very long and detailed explanation, but that's how I set up the gold monster. And then the other thing is, I use the small coil. The small coil is way more sensitive. It can hear some really tiny targets, so I go with the small coil. That's really it. That's the whole deal as far as setting the Gold Monster up. Now you know the whole story. Well, okay, I got one more target that I think is gold. Sounds good, giving a good signal. It was only a matter of, this is the first target that I dug, and this is only about 6-8 inches away. So let's dig this one. Okay, should be right in here. I'm going to go back and re-pinpoint it. Still there. Well, maybe down a little bit deeper. Maybe I'll get a little bit bigger flake. Getting a better signal and showing it's a non-ferrous target. So I'm going to dig with my pick because I'm running out of time. Good sounding signal. Okay, let's hope it's gold. Still in the spoon. Still in the spoon. Still in the spoon. Dirt clod. Not in the dirt clod. Still there. Just in that last little bit. Huh. Yeah, I think I see it. Just another little piece. But it's gold. Yep. Hopefully you can see it here. Yeah, that's the little piece right there. Kind of long.
Well, here is the 6 pieces of gold that I got with the Gold Monster 1000 that day, and the last piece I got is the one in the middle on the right because it's a little bit long and it probably does weigh a hair more than the other ones, but altogether they only weigh a little more than a grain, which is like 6/100ths of a gram. By weight, the total weight on these is only about $3 worth of gold, figuring gold at $1,500 an ounce. Now you'd say $3 isn't a lot of gold, which it isn't, but it just goes to show how very sensitive this detector is at picking up little bits of gold that were missed by the old timers. Of course, it would have gotten bigger pieces even more easily, and I did find a couple of bits of lead that were just small, but boy, little lead fragments just sound off. Certainly if if these little ones will sound off, a little bit bigger bits of lead sound off even more. And the amazing sensitivity of this detector and its ability to find gold and ease of use is why it's very popular with a lot of prospectors.
Well, that wraps up today's expedition going out, how to find gold with the Gold Monster 1000. You know, it's a very sensitive detector. You just got to put it over a nugget. That's the hard part, is finding places that have gold that's close enough to the surface that you can hear it with a metal detector. And, you know, if you want to, if you're watching this because you want to become a better prospector, well, I wrote a book about being a better prospector. It's called Fistful of Gold, because that's what I'm hoping you'll get out of it. Fistful of gold. So let me tell you a little bit more about my book right now.
Okay, so I wanted to tell you a little bit more about my book. I wanted to be able to share the knowledge that I've gained about finding gold and how to be successful. And so I spent years literally writing this book, Fistful of Gold. It's more than 350 pages long, which is why I say it's an encyclopedia of everything you need to know about finding your own gold. I've sold more than 8,000 copies, and I've got a lot of really great feedback on it. It just is the most complete book on the market. It has information about finding gold that literally is not available in any other book that you're going to find for prospectors, because I took technical stuff from geologists and other mineral scientists, and I've translated that into language that the average guy can understand. You don't need a PhD to go out and find gold, but the information that scientists have learned over recent decades can be of a lot of help to people. So it's in this book. If you're interested about finding gold, panning, sluicing, nugget detecting, dry washing, the geology of gold deposits and how they form, it's all in here. And like I say, it's more than 350 pages long. So if you'll just go to the description underneath this video, you can take a look. I've got a link in there to take you to Amazon, to the site where the book is sold. And I think you'll really enjoy it. Take a look at all the people who've commented on this and have really liked the book. It has a very, very high rating for a book. And also, I have a website, my own free website that you can take a look at. I've got all kinds of information on here about doing research and how to find gold, a lot of good information, stuff that basically couldn't fit into my book. And so I put it on this website, and I have a link also for that in the video description. So take a look in the description, and you can click on the link, and it'll take you to my website. And finally, if you like this presentation, I've got a lot more coming out. Here's 3.5 ounces of gold that I found a couple years back in one area. I've got a lot more of these videos coming on gold, gemstones, hard rock, placer, a lot of metal detecting. There'll be lots of metal detecting stuff. So if you really enjoyed this, click the subscribe button and then tick the notification bell off, and YouTube will let you know when I publish new stuff. And hit the like button as well. And please comment on these videos, because I'm interested in what you have to say, and I promise to answer any questions you have. So if you are wondering about anything, or think maybe I didn't cover something thoroughly enough in a video, then let me know, and I'll be happy to try and help you out and give you whatever information you need. So thanks a lot, and hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you again real soon.